Waiting for it to respond. And there's our logo. And there's our wait message. And here I'm. Hey, that's me. I'm Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions. And this is the San Carlos Computer Club. We are right now in Tequila's with Christine and Emily and myself, hoping that we're going to have some other people joining us later. And we've got Cheryl, Bill, and Fred with us online in our virtual meeting. Hello, folks. And today we are testing out a new microphone system. Everybody take a moment to say hi. Emily, say hi.
Hello.
Christine, say hi.
Hi.
Are you able to hear everybody okay? Yeah, I got a thumbs up from Cheryl. I think this system is working. Hey, and one from Bill as well. All right. So we've got...
Sounds good.
All right, thank you, Fred. It sounds like this is going to work for us. So this is an interesting microphone arrangement bought off of all places, Temu. And it's sold as a USB-C adapter that links 4 wireless mics together. So as we're doing this, we're going to get a feel for how long the battery lasts. This is a hour-plus meeting. We've got 3 wireless microphones going right now. We'll see if it'll hold out the entire meeting. I've got one on my lapel. There's one on the lip of a laptop here that Emily's talking through.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, they can hear you. And Christine's got one on the table in front of her. So let's get out. Where did our meeting notes for this week's meeting go? Because as usual, I sent it out yesterday.
I got it.
And Emily got her first copy of it because I found out she was not in the San Carlos mailing list. If anybody out there listening to this, or if there's somebody that's complaining because they get emails from me and they're ready for them to stop, all they have to do is write me and I will stop sending stuff. Otherwise, you are a member until you say, I don't want to be a member anymore. Take me out of your list. And then you'll not get copies of this stuff. So this is looking very similar to last week's document. Since we've had so many topics that we have not gotten to, I've left them sitting at the bottom, as well as I've added some new topics to the top of our list. But as usual, I am more interested in what's going on with you guys. And Christine's waving her hand. Christine has a topic. What are you interested in?
Hello.
Well, I have an interesting problem. Scott spent about 2 hours at my house the other day because my mesh system, for some reason, was not connecting to my Roku, and it wasn't connecting to the TV. So I couldn't get wireless on the TV. The Roku says it's connected, but it's not connected to the mesh system, so I wasn't getting the DNS proxy. So yesterday, I went to download a new book on my Kindle, and Wi-Fi wasn't working on the Kindle. So I said, now wait a minute.
That's weird.
This is 3 devices.
Yeah.
I just logged into Kindle now, and the Wi-Fi is working. So there is some other issue.
Something going on with your mesh network.
Something is, and I rebooted the mesh network. So
did you factory form? Because maybe that's the only real solution at this point, is to set it back to factory settings and set it back up again as a mesh network. Because one of the things that was significant to me, what I was looking at, is it was open for all kinds of connections. It was set for 2.4 gigs or 5 gigs. And I can't think of it as being that discriminant of the clients that are getting connected, other than different ranges, or unless they've been connected and they've ended up on a blacklist.
Well, and I don't know where that blacklist would be. The Deco.
There is such a thing in the software, but I think you'd have to be really aware of it. I don't think you could accidentally put them on a blacklist. I think you'd have to be very aware of what you're doing.
And there was no way I could add them. Mm-hmm. And when I'm in the United States, I thought, well, maybe there's too many on the net. But in the United States, I had the same amount connected.
When it seems like your TV set saw the Starlink Wi-Fi, like it could. Am I remembering that correctly?
We couldn't connect to it.
We could see it, but couldn't connect to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the. Well, and that was the problem with the mesh network, is that it would not form a Wi-Fi connection with it, and so we finally just hooked a cable to it.
Right.
This is the Sharp TV, smart TV.
And it's working. So if I do a factory reset on the mesh, what's my next step?
Well, it would have to be set back up again.
And
Yeah. So
do I need you again, or?
I don't think so, but you would need to put in the Wi-Fi name again. In fact, I believe what you could do is you could go into the system options and save the settings. There's like a download router settings. And then when you factory flash the mesh system, I think you'd have to go through the interview and set it all up, but then after that, you could restore it with those original settings.
I'll try that. I may have to call you again. And in the meantime, my Roku, what do you call that clicker? It stopped working.
Hey, Chester's just joined us. Welcome, Chester.
Good morning.
I hope you can hear us okay. We're trying a different set of microphones.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Well, and it's just the three of us in Tequila's this morning. It's Christine and Emily and myself, and then Bill and Cheryl and Fred and yourself have joined us remotely. We are just discussing issues trying to get connected to the Deco Wi-Fi, where you were saying the Kindle didn't even see it, or it saw it and just wouldn't connect to it.
I went to log on to the Wi-Fi, the mesh.
Yeah.
And entered the password, and it went nothing.
It wouldn't do it. And see, the reason I think that maybe setting it back to factory settings is your solution is because when I was looking at the Deco, I saw that you had the old and the new security enabled. That's one of the ways that things don't connect. I saw that you had 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz both flowing. That's another area where these things don't connect. So like a pretty discriminate device, an older device that's kind of nuanced will go, no, you're only doing 5G. I don't see 5G. But that's not the case. The mesh settings say 5 and 2.4 going. The mesh says you've got the old security and the new security enabled, so you can use WPA or WPA2. There's an option for WPA3. That's by itself. I think that's 2 or 3 on the Deco. I think that's by standardization. I think one of the standards for 3 is you can't support 1. And so that all that looks correct. It all looks correct, but it's not working. And so those are the only issues that I can find where, like the Kindle, the TV set might be having an issue. They might support the older security. They might support a different frequency that's not turned on, even though it says we support the older security. We support the other frequencies. And in that vein, if you were to factory reset, it would all go back to square one, set it up again, and see if the problem persists.
Nick said, "Don't ask me." I said, "No, I'm just talking because it might help figure out what's going on."
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm talking to help you figure out what's going on. I've just reiterated the problem as we knew it yesterday and what we know now with your Kindle connecting here without a problem. I wonder, though, if the TV set is a different issue, because I think we did try and connect it wirelessly to the Starlink, and it would not connect.
No, it would not. But the Ethernet cable is working.
Yeah, but the problem with more than one problem is it grows logarithmically. One problem isn't that difficult to sort out, but you introduce another problem, and it just gets astronomically bigger. Each other problem.
Jim is bringing me ONN plus. So at the rate this is going, that's not even going to work.
Well, I would hope that it would work. You'd no longer be reliant on the Sharp TV set
Or the Roku.
And But hopefully you would still be reliant on the Wi-Fi. So hopefully this Wi-Fi problem doesn't. See, I would think that at the bare minimum, you're having a Wi-Fi problem with older devices connecting to newer devices, the Deco representing some of the newer Wi-Fi technology, and the Sharp TV representing some of the older technology. I would hope at the very most that's what's going on.
And the Deco has a setting that says, do you want to add a VPN?
Right. So there are VPN services that you could sign up for.
Well, I already have the Nord, which is one of their options.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they were supporting Nord. So you could, that's one of those where you could, I wonder if you could split them, because you've got 3 different networks in the Deco. You've got the
Living room, the hallway, and the
well, actually, you've got, well, what I was thinking was Wi-Fi. You've got your main network, a guest network, and an Internet of Things network.
Yeah.
And what would be great is if you could put a VPN on one of them. So then you could move between behaving like you're in Mexico or behaving like you're in the United States. I'm really curious about Deco's support for Nord VPN.
Bill has his hand up.
What's that, Chester?
Bill has his hand up.
Bill, you got something to contribute to this thought?
No, but I am interested in a Starlink and Deco connections when you get a chance.
Oh, okay. Well, outside of Christine's experience with Smart DNS, I would say they work really well.
Yeah, well, they did up until 2 weeks ago.
Well, one of my questions is, we are thinking of getting a Starlink Mini for when we're traveling in Mexico, because we run into really terrible internet every once in a while, a lot of the time. So I'm interested in what kind of service do you buy or get from Starlink that gets you back and forth between foreign country and Mexico? If you buy the Mexican system, what do you got to have to go home with?
Oh, that is a good question. Because you got to go home. You'd have, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, I'm looking at it existentially. Well, you definitely have to bring all the equipment that you got in Mexico. It all has to come back with you. The mesh network doesn't have to come back with you. But if you get the mobile backpack version, that has a Wi-Fi access point in it. If you get the standard Generation 3, it's got the dish. I don't know if you can see me. It's got the dish that goes up on the house or out in the lawn, and a cable that runs to a Wi-Fi network. That Wi-Fi you could use, but then if you want to do things like put it on Smart DNS, it can't be done. So you can add it to a mesh.
Well, but that's not my question. My question is, and we're thinking of the Starlink Mini.
Yeah,
it has a built-in router in it. Okay?
That's right.
But
It's fine.
what I
to
want to be
settle wherever you
I
are.
want to be able to do, I want to know is what kind of service do I have to subscribe to?
That's the part that's the part that's confusing, because there is a subscription for a mobile, and the mobile
Yes.
has its own constraints on it, but the idea is that you can take it anywhere. But I don't know if take it anywhere means move out of the country with it.
Well, in Christine's case, does she take her system back to the States with her?
No.
I have 2 separate Starlinks.
She has one in each location, and you have
okay.
a contract in each location,
Yes,
right?
I do.
And then you turn off the contract, or do you leave it going when you leave?
Normally leave it going, but I learned that I could
Suspend it.
and I had left it going because it attached to my security system. which is no longer.
No longer. So this isn't a reason to keep it going. Now, are you able to administer both accounts through the same Starlink software? Like when
On my mobile and on my computer, yes.
yeah, well, and what I was thinking was like one of them is absolutely a Mexican service and the other one's absolutely a United States service.
Correct.
But you're able to pay for and administer both systems through the same mobile app or from the website. So I hope all that makes sense, Bill. I'm really interested in the the backpack version, the one that you're talking about, that's all built in.
Well, see, what I see is they talk about 100 to 150 megabits per second on the mobile one. You get a little better with the Pro version or whatever it's called, but 150 is more than enough for us. That's for
sure.
What I'm interested in is consistency, and the app, the Starlink app has this beautiful little side thing. You go out to where you think you want to put your dish or your device, and hit a button, and it says, and then point your camera to the sky, and collect all the little dots that are up there. And when you finish collecting a dot, it analyzes it and says, oh, this is a pretty good location. You should run really well here. Or, no, this is a bad location, and you will have dropouts every 2 to 4 minutes every hour. It's really a cute little app.
Well, and if you follow it farther into the install, it will create a rectangle on the screen indicating where it sees your dish is geographically positioned and how it's out of alignment with where it needs to be. So you can kick the dish into position watching it on the screen. Yeah, sure.
But what I'm interested in is buying a Mini down here. Home Depot sell them, and they're cheaper than home, and their services are cheaper than at home. And what I need to do is, what do I have to have in order to make it work in both places? What service do I have?
I don't know, Bill. I have not heard of anybody moving back and forth, and this product that you're interested in is the first product that I'm aware of that you're able to get a mobile contract with. I think probably what needs to happen is scouring the constraints of the mobile contract, because there's no reason it wouldn't work up there except for it gets technologically handicapped from working outside of a geographical location.
Okay. Well,
and so
I have one resource that it's a friend of a friend who are over on the Baja, and they have a Mini, and they claim they just drive home with it and it works there fine without doing anything.
I would hope that's the case. Yeah, I would hope that's the case, and that you're paying your contract through your standard provider for Mexico, but you're able to use it up there in Canada. I would hope it would work that way.
Right. And what is Christine paying for her service in Mexico? That's another interesting thing.
About 55 to 60, depending upon the exchange rate, and in the U.S. I pay 120.
About 55 to 60 U.S. dollars.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like it's like 855 pesos a month is what you sign up with. And I don't know how the price is for that mobile contract. I would look through that mobile contract because they've got a different pricing. They've got different ways, tiers of service with it. Like I use it up.
I've seen, I've looked in their information, and the local contract is cheaper than that even, and then the mobile contract is close to $100, I think. That supposedly allows you to go anywhere.
So that's all you need to double check is that anywhere language. Find that anywhere language in that contract
Yes.
Oh, here, Richard's texting to us right now. He says the Starlink Mini can be used both in Canada and Mexico. Did you find that on a web page, Richard? And welcome. And Chester's got his hand up forever. So, Chester, if you got something you want to contribute to this discussion, otherwise, hold off and we'll do you next.
No, it's different.
Okay, yeah, we'll get you next as soon as we're done here. Rick?
Yeah, and I would love to have any information that young Richard has.
Yeah, Richard,
like,
if you found a link,
links.
drop it in the chat, and I'll stick it in our document, or stick it in the document.
The Starlink Mini in both Mexico and Canada. Starlink services are available in both countries. Just ensure you have a clear view of the sky.
Well, I just checked and it said excellent over here.
So, Richard, we're trying out the new microphones today. And everybody gets quiet. Okay. So I'm going to go on to Chester's topic. If Bill is muted there, so I don't think he's talking to me.
I have several topics. One is that your microphone is very low, very low frequency. Not in volume, but you just a lot of bass.
A lot of bass. I don't know if I can do anything about that. It's these new microphones we're trying out today.
Then I have a couple of stories.
Okay.
One is I took an offer from my telephone service and purchased for $5 a month. I got a iPhone 17.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the total cost is going to be about $171.
That's amazing. For you sign a contract for a period of time?
Well, I've been using them for years anyway, so.
Oh,
just Verizon.
Yeah, how long is the financing contract for?
I don't know.
No.
The other point is I took the phone because there's nothing on it. And so I took it to Verizon and they transferred everything from my old SE phone to the new phone. And it was wonderful. I had everything there that I had with my other phone. I had to learn a lot and still do about how to use it because I'm dumb on this 17. But the story is that I accidentally allowed a upgrade of my operating system.
To your
and when
phone.
When I did, everything went away.
Wait, this is on the new phone?
On the new phone.
So
I mean, my contact list, all of my programs, my hearing aids, everything went away.
Oh no.
Yep.
No, it formatted the whole phone as new.
So my story here is now the phone is set up so that it will not download any new operating system.
Well, that's a good way to roll.
So I had to, of course, go back to Verizon and they reestablished everything for me. The second story is that I was trying to get some money to two of my sisters. And I went through PayPal because they have PayPal accounts. In the case of one of my sisters, someone had gotten into her PayPal account and taken half of what I gave her. So that presents a problem that we have yet to overcome. The second part of that story is that I decided I would not use PayPal any longer, and so I would put in Zelle.
Oh, okay.
And I got to tell you, it took me a day and a half to try to get Zelle into my phone. But that's if
you're talking about Zelle, correct? Zelle.
Yes.
Zelle.
Yes.
No, but Chester does now.
So Anyway, I now have that in as well, but if you're going to put it in, you might want to get some help.
Well, in Zelle, you have to work with your bank, right?
Yeah, both parties have to work with their bank.
Yeah.
No problem with my bank or my sister's bank. But the problem, and what I want to alert you to, is PayPal. And the fact that they allowed something to happen there, and now the amounts are tied up for at least a month till they sort it all out, if they can sort it out.
Well, hopefully they can.
Account or to credit cards.
Hello.
Hello.
Account or to credit cards.
Hello.
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 Can you guys hear
Hello?
us okay? So
What happened?
we're not going to be able to last like this. We've lost power. Oh,
That's back.
power's back. All right. We're on my hotspot right now in the batteries of my laptop. But the power just came back on. And so
So
we're
not sure when you guys left, but I was talking about a new alternative to PayPal that's available to Canadians.
Are we still live?
Keep
And
talking now. Yeah, we're still live.
okay. So
Well,
it's
what-
WISE, WISE.
WYSE.
I
Yeah,
thought it was WI.
WISE.
ISE. Wise. Okay. For Canadians.
Well, it's Canadians, but I've got some American people now that are signed up with it. And it gives us exchange rates, and it's a transfer system. You can link it to your accounts, your bank accounts, or to credit cards. And I've been using it for about a year now, and it's worked really well.
Do they charge a fee?
Yes, but their fee is approximately half of what PayPal's was. And the exchange rate that they give us is closer to the publicized, American, whatever the national rate guides. I found PayPal was giving us terrible exchange rates, American, Canadian dollar, or peso, whatever we were exchanging to.
You guys go ahead and
And
keep talking. I'm going to swap back over to Tequila's.
Cheryl, I used
that was a
PayPal for
sweet
years,
transition.
moving money to my relatives using PayPal, and it's American to American, American bank to American bank, with no fee whatsoever.
Oh, really? No fee at all? Because
No fee at
boy,
all.
no,
But-
PayPal was charging us huge amounts, and I think it was like $25 minimum fee on a bunch of things. And yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
used to try and pay donations to things like Mark Mulligan's concerts or different Castaway Kids and different things with PayPal. And holy geez, the fees were just killing me. And then a lot of people wouldn't want to use the friends and family one. So because they felt it was more secure to use the business one, and it too was high fees.
No, the friends and family should be free when you're just gifting.
The
it.
friends and family is free,
Yeah.
but people that I didn't really know that I was renting my timeshare to, they wanted to use the other system, and I was losing money all the time. So I've got two different people, the American citizens that have used WISE with me so far, and it's been much better. I think the most I have paid on any kind of transaction was an $11 Canadian for a wire fee.
A wire fee. So isn't there a percentage that's associated with your transaction?
There's a percentage exchange rate,
Oh, okay.
but the
But
other
there isn't a
is it was a
transaction fee?
fee.
$11 for a wire transfer sounds reasonable.
Yeah, because I think I was up to about $50 by the time I was done with PayPal. on every transaction. It was really, really killing me.
I don't think I've ever paid a fee to PayPal. And I don't think I'll ever use them again either.
Yeah, yeah, especially with you. Well, good luck with getting the money back that it's missing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're going to need luck.
Well, and what's interesting, like you're getting into this fintech, these financial tech apps, and Chester's doing this stuff with PayPal, but what is supposed to be being developed is this Fed One, or this, what was it called? This crypto connection between federal insured depositor banks, the banks that are insured by the Fed are supposed, I think it's called Fed One. Let me double check it.
I thought it was called Venmo, VNMO. Venmo?
VNMO, yeah, Venmo.
Venmo, yeah.
Yeah, here at Fed One by Federal Bank, Premium Banking Experience. No, that's not. Is that it? No. Federal. How come I don't remember? Federal, Inter-Exchange, Exchange, Crypto System, Fed. Oh, it is Fed One. Since October. Yeah. It is Fed One. I think that's what it is. Oh, no. I mean, it is, but it's also bringing up things. There's a Fed One out of context that's actually something unrelated. It looks like something to do with India's banking platforms that's getting caught up in the results. But it is called Fed One, and each one of our banks, and this is the point I was trying to get at, is each one of our American banks that are insured by the federal government have access to this crypto exchange system. And they're allowed to make interbanking possible through your apps. This is why it's so funny that like Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, this Wise, all these things are like these are starting to really move, because the federal government's one of the reasons you use these things is because of how expensive and difficult it is to exchange money between people. The federal government set up a system so that federally insured banks can move very quickly transactions between banks. And so how that would show up, and I thought would show up by now, would be in the banking app in your phone, and you would be able to choose what banks you could send money to. And so you would go to your transfer money, and it would say outside of this institute, and it'd give you a list of the ones that you can fee-free send to bank accounts in that other institute. And it doesn't have to be free, but the point of the federal government coming up with it and releasing it to all its federally insured banks is they could do it for free or near free, and they could actually use that service as one of the things that they would sell you as come bank with us because we allow you to exchange money with other banks at this nominal or next to nothing price. That would be my sales pitch if I was the bank. It hasn't happened.
I have such a thing.
You have such a thing in Canada.
I have with my, it's Alberta Treasury Branch, so it's an Alberta bank as opposed to a federal bank. And they have global transfers. And it's a $5 fee. And I can globally transfer to American bank accounts is what I've been doing it to pay my rent here in Mexico. So I can send US dollars from my US savings account to their US dollar account, don't have to exchange money, and it costs me $5 each transaction.
That's awesome. And we've needed something like that in the United States because we don't have SWIFT numbers, so we can't do international banking very easily. I belong to a credit union. They don't have their own SWIFT number. So if somebody were to try and send me something as a SWIFT number, it's popped onto a ledger at one of these banks that is allowed to have a SWIFT number, and then it's got to work out its relationship with your credit union to cycle the funds down into your credit union. It's a real joke. And so many businesses like our bed and breakfast rely on like a PayPal account to receive an international transfer. And if this Fed 1 thing happens, then they're basically putting PayPal and Venmo and Zelle on notice, because the banks can do it themselves and they can give it away for free if they want. They could give it away for free until PayPal has no market share any longer. It's one of those issues. And then they can bring it back as one of the services and charge you a fee for it. Fred, you've got your hand up. I don't know if it's related to this or not, but go right ahead. What do you got going on?
I belong to Andrews Federal Credit Union, and they bank in both euros and dollars. So you can sit there and pay bills in euros, pay bills in dollars. You know, I don't know if that would work for you or not, but it's a thought.
Andrews Bank, that's not like Bob's Bank, is it?
No, it's Andrews Federal Credit Union.
Oh, okay. Do you happen to have a SWIFT number?
I have to have a SWIFT number?
No, I'm asking if you happen to have one.
I do not.
My credit union has, my treasury branch, which is like a credit union, has a SWIFT number, and that's what I use for my global transfers.
The rest of the world uses SWIFT numbers, but the United States does not.
Well, I have SWIFT numbers from the United States banks.
Well, let me correct that. Only certain banks have been authorized to have SWIFT numbers, and that's why my diatribe of trying to get money transferred over is just like bouncing through ledgers, waiting for some bank to have a relationship with a credit union to get those funds over, because credit unions definitely do not have SWIFT numbers. Large institutes in the United States have figured out ways to get a SWIFT number. I really don't understand any of that regulations. I can only imagine it has something to do with laundering money and drug trafficking and things of that nature. But I do know from my experience with the bed and breakfast that not having a SWIFT number is a thing. It's difficult. Everywhere else they expect you to have it. And as Christine was just saying, our new BBVA accounts have SWIFT numbers.
I'm talking about Bank of America.
Oh, Bank of America? Okay, Bank of America has a SWIFT number.
The Capital does not. And they're still setting stuff up. So if I want to transfer money to them, they gave me instructions. It has to go to England.
Yeah, that sounds very similar. Well, anybody else have anything right off the bat? Anything pressing questions? What do you got, Kristen?
How do you hook up to Streamio?
Streamio. Okay.
You
Boy, I love Streamio.
add the app on the TV, or
Well, the app needs to be installed in a device that has a platform that will support it. So like Android supports it. You could, Fire Stick supports it. One of the older generations, the new generations are questionable.
What doesn't support it is Apple products. I can't get Stremio on my iPad or on my iPhone. No.
The most interesting change so far is before Streamio would not load plugins on your Apple products. Now it will load my plugins, the Torrentio plugin. I'll see it there and try and use it, and then it will give me a warning saying this plugin violates Apple's terms of service, and won't allow it to run. That's what's stopping it from running, is a handicap that Apple has put on the platform.
Well, I created an account on my laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to my Roku and I added the app, and it didn't like my.
I didn't even know there was a Roku app for Streamio. Are you sure you added it to Roku?
Well, I don't know if it's. I went into Roku, clicked on, and added streaming service called Streamio,
I don't think it's it.
and it didn't like my password, so.
Yeah,
probably not.
I don't think that's it. Yeah, I think in fact, while we're talking about it, let's bring up Streamio because it'll give us a list of everything that's compatible. But I think it is all Windows and Macintosh, Linux, and Android. I'm going to go through the download list right now. There is Streamio 5 for Windows on both ARM and on traditional 64-bit or processors like AMD or Intel. There is Streamio for Mac OS, which is full-blown. I use it on my Mac. There's a version for both the ARM, their new platform, and the Intel, their old platform. There's Streamio for Linux as a 64-bit flat pack. There's a couple other variations here. Arch, Debian. There's a source code if you want to compile it yourself. Android TV is an Android version of it, and Android for mobile. They distinguish between the two different platforms. Android TV has a 1.8.1 version, and the Android mobile is at 2.14. There is a Samsung TV version. I've never used it. They say search the App Store for Streamio. I have two Samsung TVs. Neither one of them has Streamio in the App Store. So it must be very specific. Well, and neither one of the Samsung TVs I have is Android based. One is the Samsung operating system and the other is the old Samsung operating system. Android slid in there in between. There was a Samsung operating system, then they based everything on Android for a couple of years, and then they have a new operating system they're running everything in. So I've got the one at the beginning and the one at the end. I don't have the one in the middle. Looks like there are some versions available for LG, Sony, Philips, Hisense. There is Streamio for the Steam Deck, which you may not be aware of unless you're somebody that likes to stream video games. Streamio in the web browser. Streamio on iOS, and it's limited. It says it's limited here. Streamio for tvOS, limited again. Oh, wow, they've got a version that's running on the Meta Quest goggles, so you can watch Streamio on your VR goggles. They've got a 2D version and a VR version. They've got Streamio on Raspberry Pi. That's actually the Raspberry Pi operating system.
I figured that. Never heard of it.
Streamio on Raspberry Pi. So it's got the Pi 4 and the Pi 5. And on Boot App. I don't know what Boot App is, but they've got that too.
I have it on my phone.
You have Streamio on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it on my iPhone, but it's just to see what it does because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't play the content. You can see your list of stuff, but you can't play. Yeah.
This is why you shouldn't get an iPhone.
No, it's not why you shouldn't get an iPhone. You should get an iPhone because you want to take good pictures all the time, every time.
That's not why I have a phone.
That's why you should. That's why you should have an iPhone.
Speaking of Streamio and having access and all that kind of stuff, you guys recommended that Down Cemetery Road.
Oh yeah.
And I was on Amazon Prime Video, and I watched the first episode, and I'm all ready to go into this, and I have to get a subscription to Apple.
Oh, they gave you the first episode for free, and now you have to get the rest from Apple TV.
Oh, so sneaky.
You have frozen up there, Cheryl.
It says Streamio.
Oh. Yeah. Because I have a Streamio account and a Track account, I find myself watching stuff that I could get somewhere else. Yeah, Cheryl, you're really breaking up. Oh, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's me. Your internet connection is unstable.
Wonder what
So
that
is
could
the
mean.
driver. Network stability recently poor. We're having bad internet problems on this end, I guess. Cheryl, we did not get to hear the rest of what you were saying.
Okay, well, Bill's just saying that he's going to try something for me. If he can take the Stremio on his laptop and download the series that I want to.
Oh,
might be able to put it in the iCloud, and I might be able to watch it on my iPad.
Maybe if it's in a movie format that your iPad will support. You might need a copy of Handbrake to change it into a supported video format. But we're probably just a Google search away from finding out what format it would need to be in. What video formats does the iPad support? H.264 and HEVC 265. Looks like MP4 Move and MP4V, which is just a proprietary MP4 version from Apple. It can be copyright protected. Looks like those are your real options. For other formats, oh, but you know what? They do make a note here saying if you download VLC, you can do the other formats.
Ooh.
So no matter what you download, I would start with VLC. I know it's kind of crappy on that platform. Did we just lose both of them? They're gone. We've got Chester, Richard, and Fred with us, but Bill and Cheryl have disappeared.
Aren't they who were?
They're the ones we're answering the question for.
We'll answer it first anyway. What if you want?
Well, I think I had the answer. You weren't paying attention.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
but I think the answer would be to start with a copy of VLC. It is an inferior product on iPad than it is in Windows or in Linux or on desktop. VLC is an awesome program, and it's tolerable in a mobile setting. But if it's able to read the variety of formats that it can on a desktop, then I would download that before trying to convert any files. I'd try whatever you downloaded first with that app and call it good if it can read the file. If it can't read the file, and I wonder if it can't read the file, then you might be finding yourself having to convert into a format that is supported. And I agree with this AI generated answer about what file formats are by default supported, and that is the H.264 and the Havoc H.265 and the MP4 Move and MP4V. I believe those are the only ones that are natively supported on your iPad. Those are the ones that will play regardless because the Apple programs are going to read them. Other than that, you're going to have to install a different media program that may be able to read them.
Hell yeah,
And
brother.
since they're gone, they're going to have to go back to this YouTube video to hear that answer.
That sucks. It always sucks when
They-
you have a little YouTube video to hear an answer.
Right? Well, at least now the YouTube answers are able to be like sucked out of it with AI. Doesn't that make it better?
I'm so happy about that. That's so fun. That's great.
Yeah, that just made your day. Everything that we're saying here can be sucked into an AI. If nobody has any other questions or topics,
Sucked into the AI and then regurgitated back to you worse.
Worse than before,
Yeah.
that's right. Like a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. The quality diminishes each time. I will go on with some of the articles that I have brought with me. Oh, and Christine, your question was using Streamio.
Right. I can't on
Oh.
the thing.
No,
Can we determine that the Sharp was,
I don't think the Sharp's going to be able to do it either because it's its own operating system. So your best luck would be to do Streamio on your laptop
but then Nick can't watch it.
and then broadcast it over to your TV. Yeah, either hook up an HDMI cable, or the Roku should be able to act as a receiver, so you could cast to the Roku.
I've got to figure this other problem out.
Well, unless anybody else out there has any questions. Oh, Cheryl's back. Hey.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just got booted out, and I thought maybe the meeting had closed, so I tried to go in the other one, but no, I'm back in now. We had terrible internet there for a bit. Everything was broken up. So,
You're right. Bill got knocked off too.
well, Bill exited, and
Oh.
about the same moment, I got booted out. So, anyways, you guys were talking about downloading them off of Stremio and then converting them.
Yeah, well, that's and I actually finished up, but I'll say it again. That
Okay, thanks.
That I agree with this AI answer. That out of the box, your iPad probably only supports files that are the MP4, the MOV, or the M4V formats, and these use primarily the 264 and 265 codecs, and this is essentially what Apple supports natively. However, in this answer, one of the things that's suggested is for any other formats, you might try downloading an app like VLC. This is absolutely the answer if you're on a desktop computer. However, I'm not sure if this is the mobile answer. I would start there, though. If the files that Bill is able to download are not of MP4 MOV or MP4V, then instead of going through a program to convert them to those files, which would undoubtedly fix the problem, so you would convert each one of them into the native format, you could try just opening up one of those files using an app like VLC on your device and see if it'll just read it with that app. So you wouldn't be using the native video player in the iPad. You'd be using VLC, but you wouldn't have to go through the steps of converting a file over to a format that the native video player on the iPad can read, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I just went into my app store on the phone, and it says VLC Media Player.
Yeah.
And it's for mobile. So, and it's a free app. I can just
VLC, I have it on.
Yeah, we use it on desktop platforms all the time, and it's an exceptional media player that plays everything. It is an inferior product in mobile. I have not seen it be a very decent mobile product. But if it'll read the different formats that Apple won't, then it seems like something like it, if not it, is essential for what you want to do.
VLC.
Yeah.
Oh, down Cemetery Road.
Yeah. And then the other way that you could deal with this, Cheryl, is you could have Bill set up a Plex server on his laptop, and then the files would be sitting on his laptop being shared across your network in Plex, and you could bring it up on the Plex program in your iPad.
The Flex program, why wouldn't we just use our iCloud drive?
Because they could be stored locally, so they wouldn't be out there in the cloud. Like one of the problems you might run into with VLC is buffering, because they would be in the cloud. You'd have to have a certain amount of that file format to be able to start watching it. So you might actually have an experience. I've had this experience myself, where you go to start up the file from like a cloud drive, and then you're in this frozen waiting position, and it's not very clear why. things are just frozen, and it's not no indicators of what it is, and it's because it's having to download enough information into the buffer so that you can start watching it. And one of the reasons that Apple picks their formats, and I'm going to have to switch over to our other meet, this meet's about to shut down, is because those formats play really nice with streaming. They allow you to immediately start receiving data that you can watch, whereas other formats may not be that forgiving. All right, I am in the other meeting. If anybody wants to jump over.
Okay, well, I have a question for you. I have this allow VLC to find devices on local networks, and I don't know if I should allow or don't allow.
I think it's moot for you because that's not what you're going to use it for. But why don't you say yes? Because what that would do is it would allow VLC to see shares out there. And now she's got to get into the other meeting.
I use the bathroom.
Okay. We'll see you in a bit. Who else is joining us? Here comes Fred. We got Fred, Cheryl, myself. And Chester's with us. All right. And Richard's joining us. Welcome, one and all, to the second half of this meeting. It's not actually half. It's like, welcome to the last 10 minutes of this meeting.
Cheryl, I discovered VLC back in the 90s when I think probably Scott did. And literally in 30 years, I don't think I've ever seen a video format that VLC didn't open and play. Maybe I did. My memory isn't perfect.
Wait.
But I'm just saying, I don't recall it. Do you, Scott? Seriously? Not a corrupted file. Don't give me.
I've had bad implementations of VLC where a particular file would crash the media player, but it has always tried to open the media files. It's always been those kinds of things. Their goal is to open every media file. And there are...
It's an incredible project, Cheryl, because first of all, it's open source. It's French-based. They took forever, and I mean like 5 or 6 years to get to version 1.
Oh, I remember that.
Meaning
yeah.
It was 0 point, whatever. It was less than 1. They never thought it was good enough to say that this was a complete project. It does not spy on you. Okay? No, I'm serious.
Not yet.
It doesn't spy on you. It's not recording what you watch and sending it to other people so that they can say Cheryl Howell likes these kinds of things, and it doesn't do any of that. And it's free. You just got it.
Yeah, I just signed up for it, and I seem to remember using it a long time ago when my nieces lived in Dubai or London or all around the world, and she would send me videos and things that I couldn't open. But I seem to remember using VLC for that. But I've never had it on this iPad, so we'll try it out.
I've got to make one correction, Richard. This was originally released in 2001.
2001. Oh.
It's 24 years old. But I can see how
there are many VLC programs.
Where is that version 1? I'm going to check that for you, Scott. I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the wiki page now. It did start in the 90s as a French project.
Yeah.
But it says here that its original initial release was 2001, February 1st, 2001. So I don't believe I've used it since the
I
90s.
said my memory wasn't perfect, Scott.
Well, that's why I Googled you. I'm going to stick the VLC wiki in our document for today.
Okay, well,
Oh,
but
and we'll
here's
stick
where
it
my
under.
wait a minute, Scott.
Yeah.
Here's where my memory isn't wrong, and it shows how conservative these developers were. Okay, first release 2001, absolutely. Version 1, that was a point release. Version 1 wasn't until 2009.
Yeah, that's how I remember
So
it.
they took 8 years, and it
Well,
was perfect.
but that is also, I mean, we went through a period of time where that was the way people would do things. Like, you remember that Gmail was beta for like the first,
I know.
like
No,
8
and
years
these
of its existence.
Yeah, I know. And these AI clowns are, releasing a new revolutionary version every 4 months.
Well, and you remember that, like, Firefox used to have these very conservative versioning, and we got into this version war with Microsoft and
Yeah.
Chrome, and Firefox was getting left in the dust as far as version numbers go, not their capabilities.
We want to be version 844.
Yeah, and so they finally jumped in the game. All of a sudden, they've jumped from version 1 to version 16. And now they're screwing with versioning as well with the Apple ecosystem. Everything is going to be based on years now. So the latest operating systems are 2026. 2026 release 3.
I don't mind released on years. I think it's less misleading in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
No, you're absolutely right. I think years is the most appropriate way to do it because we're in a consumer market. Like the problem with version numbers is only tech people understood what that meant. But if you align it with years, at least a normal person can look at it and go, "Oh, that's from 4 years ago."
yeah, and it sort of pulls exactly, and it sort of pulls out the whole subjective thing of like, is this a point increment in the versioning, or is it a fractional, or you know what I mean? And I know that there are rules. I've read the rules, tried to read the rules of how you're supposed to do that academically.
Oh, the versioning?
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, at this point, nobody's going to act like that.
Well, and there are versioning systems that are out there now. So you just plug, and when you're a developer, you just plug into that. So whatever the versioning system that's being used for whatever the product is you're working on.
Mm.
The Emily has returned. So I put a link to VLC. As far as if you want information about it, I also put a link to their wiki page. They are an interesting historic, journey if you want to see where they came from, how they've ended up. Okay, what have I got here? What should I bring up? How about some happy news for Right to Repair and still reasons that we need a digital Bill of Rights. Bose has just open sourced its SoundTech home theater smart speaker. These apparently are $500 speaker systems that are, I think I read, almost 8 years old. Maybe they're almost 10 years old. But it's obvious that they're gonna end of life them, EOL. And what Bose has done ahead of time is they have released all the technical documentation for the speakers. And this is the progression that we would like to see tech take. As a product starts reaching its mature end of life, a responsible company should be gathering all the technical information they have about that product because they are determined to stop supporting it. They're not going to build parts for it anymore. They're not going to answer the phone anymore about it. They're not going to answer any emails about it. Your product, you're on your own with. So what a responsible company should be doing and we should be holding them accountable through consumer protections.
Bill of Rights.
They will, a responsible company would be gathering all the technical information they have and putting it in a public space so that someone else, what are you doing down there with those microphones, Christine?
This one doesn't appear to be on.
Oh yeah, one of them's turned off.
I don't want you to
We
forget
didn't
it, so
see
I
it.
put it over here.
Thank you. You
They
know
should
it
be-
so well.
They should be gathering all this information and putting it in a public location, disclosing it ahead of time, like Bose has done. This is really a responsible way to deal with this, because somebody else, some special interest, can pick up this technology and run with it. They've got all the resources they need to keep this technology going, and those that have special interest in keeping this product going will do so under open source. I believe that this should be a requirement. This shouldn't be a gift from a manufacturer. This should be a requirement from our technical community. We should not be buying products from companies that don't behave like this, and we should use consumer protections, regulations. We should use consumer protections to ensure that companies continue to behave like this. Thank
Well,
you.
and the costs associated with doing it the way you want to do it, Scott. And it's always easy to say that the other guy's job is easy, but you have to have the documentation internally,
Well, yeah.
or most of it
Yeah.
internally, to have done your job. So this is basically a document collation, formatting, blah, blah, blah. You throw it up on a server, boom, you're done. I mean, this is not like they have to create a whole bunch of new documentation.
Well, and I would argue if they were in a position where they do have to create a whole bunch of new documentation, they're doing it wrong. That should also be part of our consumer protections right from the beginning. They should be building in a way that they're ready to hand it over. It's their problem if they're not ready to hand it over.
Yes, and yes.
Hold them liable, hold them accountable for it, have them go through review processes if that's what it takes to jumpstart this kind of thinking. But they should not have gotten into the product without a system where they were ready to get out of the product. And getting out of the product should be accumulating all that information and making it publicly available. And if it's a chore, then they did it wrong. Right? We shouldn't even have let that product on the market if it's so hard for them to give us, to publicize the information about it when they're abandoning it.
I think that you're going to find, yes, for sure, in some cases, and in other cases, people had perfectly legitimate workflows, and basically it was, puke out these 32 documents to a server so that, you don't have to make it pretty, and you don't have to.
Well, like I do, like all they would have to do is come up with 100 documents all related to and some regulator would be like, oh, that's good enough. You've done your part. Right? I mean, that's all they would need to do to be compliant. But and
you're not talking about the average guy reading it. You're talking about serious people who are going to make modifications in this code to have things continue to function or whatever. You're talking to technical people.
Well, and to be fair, what we're talking about right now is the change. We need to prompt the change in the milieu. And so even if it is just some sleazy 100 pages that they grabbed, and I mean, at least they're going through the motions. At least we're setting the point for the culture. We're setting the bar, even if it is low.
No question, Scott. And I think that there are countless open source. I think that there are countless open source developers who want to do this or that with this or that closed source discontinued thing that they'd be absolutely thrilled to get the sleazy 100 pages.
Right,
Yeah.
right. At the very least,
I mean,
it's the starting
all I
point.
wanted was the sleazy 100 pages. I didn't need it tarted up.
And
It doesn't have to be an instructional PowerPoint.
well, and to be fair, what we're doing is we're setting a climate where you can discover, explore, experiment without repercussions, without there being threats of lawsuits, with
Yes.
people feeling comfortable sharing the information that they've found, which is something we don't have right now. And we should be insisting. We're a technologically driven culture and society now. These are some of the things we should be insisting from it. Bill Wright.
Well, and you have the clearest case. You have the clearest case with discontinued products.
Discontinued
because-
products, exactly.
If you can get into the whole open source discussion for continued products, but setting that aside, when you have a discontinued product, it's a discontinued product. That's it.
Hey, and going back to like, even if it's the sleazy 100 pages, even if they don't have that, well, fine. Let's have a system for fining them. If they're going to continue to do business like bastards, then we'll just charge them when they're not, and we'll charge them through the nose for not being prepared. And that money will just go towards open sourcing the all this stuff. It'll all go towards advocacy and archiving. And I mean, every time they have to pay a fine, that money goes towards this goal as well.
Well, I think it's just a shame that you have perfectly serviceable hardware, hardware that I mean, the idea of a speaker becoming unusable after 7 years.
In this vein, the right to
I grew
repair.
up with quality speakers. I know old people like myself, who have speakers that are perfectly functional and wonderful from 30 years ago.
Certainly, yeah.
Really good stuff,
as
James.
long as they took care of them.
Pardon?
As long as they took care of them in good climate and didn't blow them out, yeah, it'd still be good. Well, anyway, that let's see. Let's move on because we're running out of time. But I do have a couple other things here I thought you'd find interesting. And if you guys have read any of these, go ahead and jump out at me if you want to talk about any particular one. This other one from Verizon, I think, is fairly significant for us to keep our eyes on. I don't know if any of you are Verizon customers, but what is that we talk about the cultural milieu? This is what Verizon's doing right now. We started out this meeting talking about Starlink and Bill and Cheryl wanting to get us set up so that they're able to use the same connection, whether they're in Canada or Mexico. Verizon is approaching this issue in a completely different way. Apparently, people have been using home Wi-Fi through 5G, allowing them to get over to compete with fiber optic speeds, hundreds of megabits a second in their house through 5G. It is possible. And what Verizon has discovered is a number of their users are taking that base station with them when they go on vacation, or they snowbird down to their house in Mexico. No, not Mexico is a bad example, but to another part of the United States that has Verizon service, and they're just turning it on and using it there. So they're cracking down on this now. This is kind of, in their minds, it's kind of like password sharing. They basically are locking you into a geographic location with good reason at the moment, with less good reason as we move further with technology, because we all know that when something gets updated, its capacity is one of the things that's updated. So when you go faster, more of you can go faster. When something breaks and needs to be replaced, more people can use it and they can go faster than they could before. This is a general rule, but it's true. When you replace a 4-port switch, you end up with an 8-port switch. When you replace a 100 megabit switch, you replace it with a 1 gigabit switch because every 18 months things double, and that's just been the case. And so, yeah, right now they are, or at least claiming to have load balancing issues with people traveling outside their geographic location, asking for much more bandwidth in that geographic location than they can give. They do sign people up for these home internet services based on where they're physically located, knowing how much internet they can provide. But this is a concern. If it is not, if it's a genuine complaint, it's a temporary genuine complaint. But they are cracking down on it. And so if you are one of these snowbirders that are using 5G as your home internet and you're traveling with, you get ready for them to insist that you do a location change. They're watching for these devices now. And if they catch you using your device out of location, they're going to insist on a new contract in that new location, or a completely different contract for that location that has nothing to do with your original location. Just something to keep on your horizon, paying attention to how this stuff is juggling. I don't like this kind of thinking. I like the Starlink thinking. I hope that Cheryl and Bill go back with a Starlink that they don't have to say, now we're in Canada. That's what I hope. I hope that you can pull it out of your backpack and have high-speed internet anywhere in the world, and you just pay wherever you have signed up for it originally. That's along with that, they're trying to sell the Tesla phone service anywhere that you can get satellite service. I think that is the dream, even though I don't like Elon. I'm not an Elon fan. I am a fan of that kind of thinking. Chester, your hand is up, and we're going to go to you next, but I want to say one more thing about the line of thinking. I heard recently that Elon is losing satellites in the numbers of thousands a year. Apparently, that's part of the budget. Did not realize that. His satellites are supposed to be the size of like shoeboxes for perspective. But then I've read recently where there is this budgeted amount of satellites that go out and go up every month that is to be expected as part of this satellite internet project. Something I'd never considered before.
I imagine if it's the size of the shoebox, any old space rock could blow it up.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also contributes to more of the space junk that is just out there in the debris field around our planet.
The whole Starlink constellation, all layers of it, deorbits in 5 years.
Yeah. So this is odd. I mean, actually, that was probably a selling point when he was getting.
That was the design, one of the design goals. In fact, they just moved the Starlink, one of the main shells of the satellites was they lowered the orbit so that things would deorbit naturally quicker.
Yeah.
That was just 2 weeks ago. But the whole thing is designed, which, if you ever had any disruption in the launch schedule, I mean, this thing is burning out 20% a year. That's what a 5-year deorbit means, 20% a year.
Yeah. Chester, you've got your hand up, and Fred?
Yes, we're talking about Verizon, and I've been a customer for, I think, 15 years. And that's for telephone, but I recently subscribed to their internet 5G service for $25 a month.
Oh, so you're one of these customers.
Yep, I am. But I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What's been your experience with that, Chester?
It's been good. I have had no problems whatsoever. Very good television, very good, good internet, good phone service.
Cool. Very
But I
cool.
think it depends on where you are.
Hey, Chester, did they add that to your current cell phone plan, or are you maintaining like two different contracts with them?
No, they added it to my current plan.
Oh, that's impressive. That's very cool.
There are also the ones that sold me the I-17 for $5 a month.
Boy, that's aggressive, Chester. That's really aggressive marketing to you. I mean, you're a privileged customer, obviously.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, you know, but you've been with them a long time and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
But
plus I've had from 3 to 5 lines during all that period as well.
So I have a question.
I'm sure you're on the good boy list, Mr. Stone. We like
I have a
this.
question. I have a question about this. With our AT&T, we have unlimited data, unlimited phone calls, unlimited messaging in Mexico, United States, and Canada. And they offer me all the time a hotspot. Would that be the same kind of thing that what we're talking about here? That would be a hotspot internet connection.
It would be similar. It's a similar kind of technology. The difference is how it's marketed. Your hotspot would be sold to you as usable across the United States with a maximum ceiling of a certain rate that I would imagine is much slower than what Chester's able to get for his home. But that's all controlled through settings. There isn't a technical limitation on your hotspot. Your hotspot could easily go as fast as whatever Chester is able to contract for his house, but they can't control the environment in which you're using it. And so they would put a limitation on it. I'll give you an example. Here in Mexico, you can get a hotspot from Telcel, but it will only go as high as 10 megabits a second here locally, because they need to control how much bandwidth is used across their wireless network.
Okay, so that's different than the unlimited data that we have. Unlimited data.
Speed and capacity are two different things. The amount of data that you download is a different thing than how fast you can download it. And we've seen some really poor combinations of those things. Like in Anchorage, the cable operator used to offer a plan that was 80 gigabytes of data a month, whereas they jacked up the cable connection to almost a gigabit a second. That means that you could use up your data cap in 80 seconds.
Oh, okay. So, but my unlimited data and with the telephone, but we're finding we don't have 5G, we have light, we have different things. Sometimes we don't have any cellular signal at all.
Yeah.
Like we walk inside a building and we don't have any. We had the same thing out at Bahia Delfine. We had no AT&T cell network when we walked inside our condo.
You know, Cheryl, there is no different from the hotspot that you're using and the hotspot that Chester's using. The difference is your hotspot was sold to you at a price and a service level that it's as available as your cell phones are. Whereas
okay. So I've never signed up for the hotspot with them. I've only ever just used the data, the phone messaging, and the calls.
And Chester's hotspot was signed up for in a specific geographic location. They wouldn't have sold him that service if they didn't know they couldn't provide that service to the area he's in.
They offer it to me, but I've never taken advantage of it. And it's something like $5, but I don't know what the caps are, and I don't.
Well, I mean, I can tell just from the price that this is one of those mobile hotspots, and that's the big difference. Is Chester's is a home Wi-Fi solution, the hotspot is a mobile Wi-Fi solution. Hey, today was the first meeting. We used these Temu microphones, and I know I say that on a YouTube video sounding like I'm being sponsored by something, but actually I'm not. But I just wanted to verify that sound quality seemed fine. These are, Emily's holding it up there. These are the microphones we're using. One's hooked to my shirt, the other one's hooked to the lip of a laptop, the other ones were on the tables. We only used 3, but we have 4 of them. These were all from Richard's suggestion. Thanks for the suggestion, Richard. Dirt cheap. I don't think I paid more than $40 in the end for these. They came with their own carrying case. I don't know if anybody can see this. This is kind of cool. And I would show you the receiver, which goes in here, but if I unplugged it, then you couldn't hear me talking.
So is this where you ask for donations for the computer club to pay for the 4 speakers? And how do we send our money?
You'll find our Patreon in the link in the document.
Click that bell and smash the subscribe, or did I do that in the right order? And check out our Patreon.
Become a channel member and get cool perks.
Yeah, get cool perks like talking to us every Tuesday at 10 from Tequila's. Hey, we're at the end of this meeting. Normally we do things like recommendations. If anybody has a recommendation, this is a good time to shout it out now. We made it through a couple of different topics that I brought with us. I'm gonna leave the rest for next week, so we've got something. If you guys are interested, read through them. I'd be interested in hearing the ones that interest you. Fred, your hand is still up. What have you got?
Quick thing. The cruise ships are saying that you can't use the portable antennas on the ship.
The Starlink, is that what you're talking about?
That's correct.
And that's policy, not technology. They've made a policy you can't use them?
Well, depending on the ship you're on, it's anywhere from $45 down to I paid as little as $12 a day.
Yeah, it's a real moneymaker for them.
Yes, it is.
Well, they're gonna be in trouble when people are just showing up with their Tesla phone and setting that up as a hotspot.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know anyone with Tesla phone service. I've just seen it advertised. So if any of you come across anybody with Tesla service, please pick their brain for all the limitations and what they've been able to do with it, how much it costs them, whether they're happy with it. I'd be really interested.
Well, I just wanted to say that I'm going to be logging off here. I don't have any recommendations, but I thank you for the solution of finding the rest of the series that I tried on you guys' recommendation. I want to get in and see the rest of them. Next Tuesday, we will be in the Phoenix area during Computer Club, checking in for our flight to Canada. Although it's been a warm week in Canada, it looks like it'll be negative temperatures when we get there next Tuesday.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
We won't be checking in next Tuesday. The week after that, we will see Scott and Yuya and family.
Yay.
And then Christine, I think the following Tuesday after that is the day you're going to take the bus down to Alamos. So looking forward to seeing you guys in person coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yay, we're excited.
Yippee!
When does
I'm a little worried though, Cheryl. Every time I talk to my wife, she's got someone else she wants to bring with her. She should probably reach out to you and find out if it's even possible. But we're committed for Sid and my family. I don't know what she's going to do with these other people.
Okay. Well, in your family, we've got couches, so.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're good to go. And I've been looking at the schedule. It looks some interesting concerts. So.
All right. Well, if there aren't any other recommendations, I guess I also want to say about the phones again. If you meet somebody with a Trump phone and Trump service, you've met a liar, because nobody has seen one of those phones or the service. So just realize that you're talking to somebody that's lying to you about it. Until next Tuesday, everyone, tech on.
Tech on.
Tech on.
Tech on, Fred.